This episode contains discussion of suicide, suicidal thoughts, and mental health struggles. Please listen with care and at your own pace. In this episode, I share one of the hardest and most important stories of my life. My journey through suicidal thoughts, multiple attempts, and the lessons that kept me alive. Still Here isn't about tragedy. It's about survival, faith, and the hidden curriculum that teaches us how to live when life feels unbearable. If you ever felt alone, invisible, or just ready to give up, this episode is for you. You are not broken. You are not beyond hope. You are still here. And that matters. You matter. If you or someone you know needs help, please call or text 988 to reach the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline here in the US. For my veterans and service members, please press 1 after dialing 988 or text 838-255 to reach the Veterans Crisis Line. For international resources, you can visit findahelpline.com. Before we begin, this episode discusses suicide, suicidal thoughts, and mental health struggles. Please listen with care. This episode is about my personal story. It's not about giving advice, but about finding hope and learning that we are never alone. Episode 9, Still Here, the hidden curriculum of surviving the darkness. Hi, it's me, Adrianne. Today's episode is going to be different. It's heavier, it's very personal, and it's one of the hardest stories I'm probably going to have to share. But I want to. I want to talk about something that affects so many of us, especially during the holidays. Suicide and the quiet battles we don't always talk about. Please take care of your heart as you listen. If you need to pause, step away, or come back later, that's okay. You are not alone. Let's begin. The first darkness in my childhood. My first suicide attempt was when I was about 11 or 12. My mom often left me home alone while she worked late. There were no cell phones back then, no easy way to find her. There would be times I would fall asleep by the door, terrified that something had happened to her. My mom was an alcoholic. I would ride with her when she was drunk behind the wheel, and every ride felt like it might be the last. I would strap myself to the back seat and put on as many seatbelts as I could and fall asleep. I was an only child. Still am. No siblings to talk to. No one to tell me it would be okay or just to distract myself. I remember nights when the house was so silent, except for the clock. I would stare at the landline phone, just waiting for it to ring or waiting for her headlights to pull into the driveway. They never did until it was late and I was already asleep. After months of that, I started to believe that maybe life would be easier for her if I wasn't in it. I told myself, if she doesn't care about me alive, maybe she'll cry for me if I'm gone. One night, I went into the kitchen. I did grab a knife, and I was crying. I couldn't even breathe. As I brought that blade towards my wrist, the doorbell rang. I froze. I thought it was my mom. Maybe she forgot her keys. So I ran to the door. There was no one there. There was no footsteps going down the stairs, no car pulling out, no one in sight, no package, nothing. But that sound did pull me out of that moment. Then, a few weeks later, it happened again. A different night, same loneliness, same knife. And again, as I'm about the doorbell rang. There was no one there again. This time I remember just running down the stairs and just yelling, "Hello? Hello?" And then I ran back up. No one was there. It's definitely a core memory I have. Now, let me bring some light to the situation. And it has to do with the death of my uncle when I was much younger. My mom's brother had died by suicide. And I wasn't allowed to attend the funeral. But I remember her crying. When she would drink and felt broken, she would whisper his name. After years of reflecting on those attempted suicides, I came to a conclusion. I think it was him, my uncle, my angel. He was the one that rang the bell. He was the one that was stopping me, distracting me. That wasn't the last time he protected me. It wasn't the last time I wanted to die. But those doorbells taught me that something bigger than me wanted me to stay. From 12 to 34, suicide lived in my mind like a background noise. Some days it was very loud. Some days it was really quiet. But it was always there. In my teens, I hid the pain behind grades, playing sports, behind jokes, behind being the strong one. And when I joined the military, I told myself the structure would fix me. Sometimes it did. Sometimes it just gave me a new place to hide the pain. There were nights after drills when I would joke, if anything happens to me, at least the life insurance will take care of my family. People would laugh. I laughed too, but I honestly meant it. Those thoughts came in waves. After losses or after moves, after every heartbreak. The loneliness always found me again. The last time my last attempt was when I lived in Austin, Texas with my third husband. We had just moved there and I was working from home. I was in a new city. I had no friends, no family, no community. I was trying to reconnect with my birth father and my half-siblings, and I wrote to one of my sisters. Her response was delayed, and I only received something after my final attempt. But that silence of waiting reopened every childhood wound. triggers I still am working through: rejection, abandonment, the same old voice whispering, they don't care. You don't matter. Your absence, it will not be noticed. And what triggered me was that my husband at the time was leaving for his annual fishing trip. It would be about 5 days. No reception or hardly any. I had begged him not to go. I was definitely going through a very hard time. Depression was hitting me hard. He left anyways. By the 3rd day of him gone, with very minimal communication, I was done. The darkness was at its heaviest. I opened a bottle of wine and drank that. And then another one. I was drunk and crying and planning my own funeral, wondering who would be there. I stumbled to the bathroom and I grabbed a bottle of ibuprofen. And as I was walking back into the living room, I swallowed a handful of pills and I used whatever was left of the wine to just take down as many as I could. Everything went black. When I woke up in the bathroom, the floor was wet. There was throw up everywhere. I stumbled into the living room area and I saw the 2 bottles of wine and the ibuprofen bottle tipped over with a few pills laying off on the side. And I went into the kitchen. The kitchen was a mess. There was like bags of potato chips open and whatever type of food I can just grab was half eaten. I was alive. I stood there in the middle of that small apartment in Austin, Texas, and I just yelled, "Fine, I get it. I'm supposed to be here. I don't even know why." In that moment, I called somebody. I couldn't call my husband. I did actually try. And I just went to voicemail. So the next thing I did was I called my friend in New Mexico. And she told me to call the helpline for our organization. I mean, it wasn't just like, oh, call so-and-so. Like she heard me. And then afterwards, she's like, please just call. So I called. Immediately, they just told me I need to go to the emergency room after I told them what I had done. So I drove myself there. Probably still drunk. I don't remember. And I walk into the emergency room and they're like, what's wrong? I try to kill myself with alcohol and ibuprofen. I've never been rushed so fast to the back of the ER. After so many tests and whatever they did to me, a doctor, he came over to me and he's like, I don't know how you survived this. There's nothing in your stomach. Your vitals look great. He did warn me, though. I have to be careful with ibuprofen in the future. We don't know the extent of the damage. From there, I was actually transported in an ambulance to the psych ward across the street. I was a 5150. Once in the psych ward, I begged to leave. Some of the people in there made me realize something else is wrong with me. So I begged. I saw the psychiatrist and I begged them to please let me go. I called my friend again in New Mexico and she vouched for me. And at that point, finally, my husband at the time heard the voicemails and got in communication with my friend in New Mexico and had called the psych ward and, let them know that he would be home soon and would make sure I would be safe. So they let me go after 6 hours. And the things I saw and heard in those few hours, I never, ever want to experience the psych ward. And that was my last time. But it wasn't the end of hearing about suicide. I've lost friends. I've helped people who have lost somebody. I understand both sides now. The one who wants to go and the one left behind. This story matters to me because it's the reason I started this podcast. The hidden curriculum of life is that we are meant to live it until it's truly our time. I've had so many storms. I'm only on episode 9. And yes, I have thought about ending it many times. But I'm still here. I joke about 9 lives. But I feel like I'm so protected and I'm supposed to be here. I have more than 9 lives and I'm not going to play with them anymore. I'm just going to have faith and hope that I get through these storms. And I have been. I'm protected in so many ways. Like during my second divorce, my friend, he knew my story. That's the reason why he checked on me constantly. He made sure I ate. He made sure I was okay mentally, emotionally, and physically. And that's when I got blessed with the $20,000. My little baby Phoenix. After all those miscarriages, I remember telling myself I didn't deserve another child. And that's why I kept losing them. Why would I want to? Why would I be allowed to bring a child into this world if all I ever wanted to do was end it? I carried so much guilt for the times I tried to end my life. But God had other plans. He still has something here for me. Every time I thought it would be easier to stop living, someone reminded me to stay. And I know you're probably thinking, like, you have kids. Yeah, but they have fathers. They have each one of my kids has a very strong family support, stronger than mine. I made sure every kid had a father that would be there for them if anything happened to me. My stories matter. So do yours. Your storms matter. Your scars matter. Your survival matters. One of my favorite poems is Footprints in the Sand. It says that during our hardest times, when we see only one set of footprints, that's when God is carrying us. Or whoever you believe in, or whoever carries you. You are not alone. I truly believe that. Because every time my feet couldn't carry me, somehow I kept moving forward. It's still dark sometimes. I'm in a very dark time right now. And trauma doesn't disappear. But I've learned to accept, validate, and just focus on reframing my thoughts, appreciating and being grateful for what I do have and who I am surrounded by. Anything that I've lost, what really matters is I'm still here. And I'm doing my best to be here. When the darkness shows up, I remind myself, I've been here before, and I made it out every time. I've learned to love myself even at my lowest. Just to be okay with not being okay. To see that even in the storm, there's still love. My kids' love, my friends' love, and my own. Please know this. There's a hidden curriculum in every storm. You might not see it right now, but one day, when the clouds clear, you're going to look back and you're going to realize you had to go through it to get where you are right then and there. And you survived. You survived that test. You survived that chapter. You survived that season. Because you matter. You matter to somebody. If you ever forget that, please reach out to someone, anyone, including free resources. You can call or text 988. And for my fellow service members and veterans, you just press 1 after calling or texting 988. Or you text 838-255 because you are not alone. You never were alone. And I promise you will make it through. If this story spoke to you, please share it with somebody who might need it. And remember, You are still here for a reason. Thank you for spending time with me on the hidden curriculum of life. I hope that today's story reminded you that your journey matters. Your storms, your scars, and your strength. Keep showing up. Keep learning. Keep becoming the person you are meant to be. And remember, the lesson is always in living. Thank you.